If you're one of the many people hoping for home prices to come down this year, I have some news you might not want to hear. Last month, home prices increased another 2% after we saw an increase of 2.4% the month before, and there were price increases in condos and townhomes too. But what does that mean in dollars and cents? And is it a trend that will continue? Is the benchmark price of a single family home over $1 million again? In this video, I'll give you an update on the Kelowna real estate market and show you what's going on with prices this year and compared to last year. Make sure you stick around until the end, where you'll find out if we're still in a buyer's market and if it's having any effect on prices at all. I'm Tyrell Boake, a realtor in Kelowna, and on this channel, I help you navigate the real estate market and provide you with useful information so you can make informed decisions that make sense for you. If you get any value out of this type of content, please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe buttons so that other people like you can see this video too. In last month's market update, I wondered if the price increases we saw in January was just a dead cat bounce after we saw 3 months of price declines to end 2023, or if the market was on its way up. I think we still need to wait one more month to have a definitive answer, but prices rose in February again, and we haven't even seen interest rates come down yet this year. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What's going to happen with prices in March, and what do you think prices are going to do when we actually do see some interest rate declines? I think there's a lot of buyers waiting on the sidelines to get in and waiting for those rates to come down, but I'm curious to know what you think. Let's take a look at what my market of Kelowna did in February. The first thing I wanted to take a look at is the sales volume, or the number of transactions compared to last year. 2023 was one of the slowest years for transactions in recent memory, and as you can see, we've started the year off with quite a few more sales than we had last year. February, however, did decline from January, but as you can see, the pace of 2024 is quite a bit higher than it was in 2023 as more buyers come into the market. And if we take a look at active listings, you can see that we do have more active inventory on the market this year than we did last year. The benchmark price of a single-family detached home in February was $1,009,000, which is a 2% increase over January, which saw $989,000. If we look year over year, that price is actually up 4.1% from where it was in February 2023. The benchmark price graph shows that over the last 2 years, we've had two small bubbles where prices increased rapidly and came down. But if you look at the trend line, it shows that our prices in February of 2024 are quite similar to what they were all the way back to August 2022. It's been a volatile market, but on average, we're back to where we were in 2022. If we look at the benchmark price of a townhome, you can see that in February it was $754,000, which is a 3.7% increase over January, which came in at $728,000. But that price is down 4.2% year over year from $787,000 last February to the $754,000 this year. Again, if we look at the benchmark price graph over the last 2 years, you can see those two small bubbles where prices increased rapidly, but the price of a townhome is essentially back to the same price it was in, let's say, November 2022. Taking a look at the benchmark price of a condo, in February it came in at $508,000, which is 4.8% higher than it was in January. This is a bit of a surprise to me, and I'd like to see if it's a 1-month anomaly, which you'll see when we go back to the benchmark price graph. This is why I'd like to take a look at the average price of a condo, because as you can see in February, it dropped drastically from January, and it's actually lower than it was in December as well. However, if we look at the benchmark price of a condo year over year, it's still up 2.6% from last February. But as we saw with the average price, which I don't always look at, but in this case, it really showed us that there's something going on in the condo market, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Taking a look at the graph of the benchmark price over the last couple of years, you can see again, there's those two bubbles that happen where prices rose rapidly, but prices have been a little more level over the last 2 years and a bit, and you can see that the price of a condo is back to where it was in October of 2022. One of the reasons I think that the average price of a condo has come down rapidly, and I think we'll see the same happen over the next 2 or 3 months with the benchmark price, is that inventory in condos is growing rapidly. In January, we've had quite a few more active listings than we did in 2023, and that number grew even more in February to where we're almost at 600 active listings in the area for condos. This segment of the market, the inventory is growing rapidly, and I can only guess that we're going to see some downward pressure on prices in this segment as inventory grows and as we get further into the spring. If we take a look at the average days to sell, it's taking on average 77 days to sell a single family home, 58 days to sell a townhome, which is down slightly from the previous month, and 57 days to sell a condo. That is about the same as it was in January. Lastly, if we take a look at months of inventory, we're still at 9 months of inventory for single family homes, which is a buyer's market. This is down slightly from the 10 months of inventory that we saw in January. Townhomes have dipped to 8 months of available inventory, which is still a buyer's market. And in condos, we have 9.2 months of inventory, which again is a buyer's market. All three of these asset classes were over 10 months of available inventory in January. Statistically speaking, we're in a buyer's market and there should be downward pressure on prices, but the market's not behaving that way. This tells me that even though inventory is growing, there's still a lack of saleable inventory. Homes that are priced properly, that are in good shape, that buyers are willing to put an offer in and willing to buy. Some inventory is just simply sitting on the market. Sellers are still betting on the prices that we saw in those two bubbles I showed you over the last 2 years, and buyers just aren't putting offers in on them, or if they are, they're lowball offers that aren't being accepted. The sale price of homes that are actually selling is increasing, and we haven't even seen the possible effects of anticipated rate decreases this year. Looking at the data, I'm pretty bullish that prices are going to continue to increase this year in single family homes and townhomes, just like I predicted in my market prediction video earlier this year. If you want to check that video out, I'll leave a link to it in the description. When it comes to condos and condo prices, though, I think we're going to continue to see prices soften as more inventory comes to the market, either through new construction or the new short-term rental regulations, which are coming into effect May 1st, which are going to incentivize investors or force them to list their condos for sale if they haven't already. If you're one of the many people hoping for the market to crash, or for prices to come down at least, I think you're going to see that happen in the condo market this year. That'll give you an opportunity to buy your first home and get on the property ladder, or secure yourself a great deal when you're downsizing. If you'd like to book a call with me and have a conversation about real estate, hit the first link in the description where you can book a time that works best for you. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think prices are going to do in March? And I'll see you in about a month for the next market update.